Welcome to this house of worship. We gather to renew our commitment to our church, each other, and ourselves. It is a time for reconnecting, regrouping, and reaffirming our love. Good morning. Please stand for the opening hymn and remain standing for the invocation and the Lord's Prayer. The opening hymn this morning is number 151, Weave, which is found on page 194. Us together, us together, us together, us together, we are many textures, we are many colors, one different from the other, but we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. We must together, we must together, we must together, we must together, together in love. We are different instruments, playing our melody, each one tuning to our different beat. But we are all playing in harmony, in one great symphony. We must together, we must together, together. We must together, we must together, together in love. All in our ghosts, we cannot no more. Take only diversity. Now love is the love in thee, in one great family. We must together, we must together. We must together, we must together, together. O Mother, Father, God, join us in our renewal as we open our hearts to your unconditional love, your magnificence and guidance. We honor you by allowing us to worship you in this sacred and holy space. We invite you to fill our hearts and souls with your radiance and allow this brilliance to touch and bless everyone that we meet. Now please turn to the front of your songbooks and let us recite together the Lord's Prayer. Or we can read it on the screen if it's more convenient. We lost it, Renee.
Give me a minute. I'm having technical difficulties. So it's not the one that's in the front of the songbook, though. I don't think, is it? Hang on.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
In the PowerPoint, yes.
Hang on. All right. Now we should be good. There we go.
O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration. May your light be experienced in my utmost holiest. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe, all that vibrates, just as on earth that is material and dense. Give us wisdom, understanding, assistance for our daily need. Attach the fetters of faults that bind us, like we let go the guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things like materialism and common temptations. Let us be freed from that which keeps us off from our true purpose. Comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all, continues itself from age to age. Made, yes, sealed in trust, faith, and truth. I confirm with my entire being. Please be seated. The Institute for Spiritual Development is a God-centered, spiritually inclusive, metaphysical church and community dedicated to your growing spiritual awareness in an atmosphere of unconditional love and acceptance. Welcome home. Let us affirm the principles of understanding which unite us. Please turn to page 1 of your songbook and recite with us our Declaration of Principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that infinite intelligence expresses itself in all existence and in a manifestation of divine love. We affirm the unity of all life everywhere. We believe in communion with all planes of existence, and that meaningful communication flows from this connection. We affirm the divine right of each individual to seek the truth in accordance with their consciousness, and that living in harmony with that truth defines true spirituality. We affirm that spiritual unfoldment is progressive and unending, and that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the mandate, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the personal responsibility of the individual, and that we choose our happiness or unhappiness as we apply the laws of the universe. We affirm that life is eternal and that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We believe the ultimate expression of God in our life is unconditional love of our neighbors and ourselves. We accept that the living gifts of prophecy and healing reported in all sacred scripture are an affirmation, divine spirit working through us. And now it's time for the healing portion of our service. Please remember that we all add to the healing energy. This is a time of quiet meditation. We ask that this time, as always, that everyone remains in a prayerful and meditative state. If there's anyone you know in need of a healing, please call out his or her name silently or repeat it to yourself. And anyone online that would like to request a healing, please put their name in the chat. Would the usher now please come forward to bring up the healing book? We ask for special healing for all those whose names are in the book. Thank you. We also ask for special healing for those who serve in the military and those on whose shoulders rest the decisions which will affect the nations. Okay, I invite everyone to just relax. Feet flat on the floor, hands on your knees if you're comfortable, facing upwards. And breathe in strength. Breathe out fear. Breathe in strength. Breathe out chaos. Breathe in strength. And breathe out judgment. And with every breath, you become more and more relaxed. And scan your body for any areas that need healing. From the top of your head down to the bottom of your toes. With each out breath longer than the in breath. With the oxygen rejuvenating every cell in your body and being. And keep scanning your body to any areas of aches and pains and send that area extra light and love. And thank your body for sharing. And release the pain or ache without judgment. And thank it for sharing. Now imagine we're all in a virtual circle with our energies connecting, our auric fields as it is. And notice the beautiful colors of the rainbow of your aura, shining brightly. And with each breath, our collective energies become stronger and more vibrant. The red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the white, and the indigo of the chakras, flowing smoothly and effortlessly. And notice the energy cycling through your body. Into your crown chakra, down through your feet, back to Mother Earth for recycling. And notice how powerful our circle is becoming with each breath. As our circle expands out through the room, through Madison, through New Jersey, and eventually all around Mother Earth. And everything that this light touches, it heals, because only love and light can exist in this field. And see your loved ones and friends and family healed by this wonderful, brilliant light. And as the light touches anyone with disease or distress, that they are instantly healed. See Mother Earth healing herself of any pollution or destruction. And notice the beautiful colors of the auric field covering Mother Earth. And any areas of the earth that needed extra light and love become instantly healed. We ask for special healing for the frontline workers who continue to work to keep us safe. From COVID and other diseases. And we ask for special healing for those in the military and in power whose decisions affect the nations. I am the commanding conscious presence that demands peace and harmony in every area and aspect of my life. In my work, in my play, with my friends and family, and within my inner being. The peace and harmony of God is active, present, in full operation and complete manifestation. I send this peace out to every leader in every country and all who make decisions that bring change in our world. I know that the peace and harmony of God is active in every person everywhere. I see this country surrounded by light as more people choose to meditate on peace. I surrender to Spirit the ways in which this will happen. I lay aside my limited opinion as I place my trust in the infinite wisdom of God, knowing that peace and harmony awakens in the hearts, minds, imaginations, hopes, dreams, and wishes for everyone. For the peace and harmony of God far outweighs any desire for disharmony or destruction. Wherever there is God and harmony is active, present, and in full manifestation. And so it is. Visualize the healing energy as a radiant being of light that blesses and rejuvenates everything in its path. See this amazing light glow the entire world and universe, blessing and healing everything in its path. And slowly come back to the here and now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now we're going to read responsive reading R19, God in Us, on page 227. Please respond in the bold print. Infinite being created us in its own image. In its image, divinity created us.
For as the Father has life in itself, so it is the sons and daughters to have life in themselves.
We are made out of and from life. As effect must partake of the nature of its cause. So we must partake of the divine nature from which we spring.
There is incarnated in each of us that divine spark, which contains the whole of the nature of God.
The will of spirit has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life.
It is a power greater than we are. It is our strength, but we ourselves are not that power. There is one life behind all that lives.
Out of all the variations of life, the infinite variety of color and form and people, one power is working, one life is expressing, one mind is animating, one presence flowing through, and one law controlling.
The basis of all scientific work is the conviction that the world is an order and comprehensive unity.
There are diversities of workings, but the same God who works all things in all, and there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit.
There is one body and one spirit, one God, Father, Mother of all, who is above all, through all, and in all.
The divine mind works in each through a conscious attitude of gratitude and receptivity. Joy is the most infallible sign of its presence.
Amen.
For the homily, please turn to page 160, song number 122, which is the prosperity round.
You're not sharing audio anymore, Barb? Because it has to go off when I share screens.
In abundance, I am prosperity.
Now I create, make my reality. I know it's whispered. Oh Lord, I am abundance, I am prosperity. Now I create, make my reality. I know it's whispered. Oh Lord, it's whispered. I am abundant, I am prosperity. Now I create, make it my reality. I create, it's so certainty. It's so certainty. I act in spite of fear. I act in spite of doubt. Worry does not stop me. I always go all out, for I know I am abundance, I am prosperity. Now I create it, make it my reality. I know it's a certainty. I am prosperity. And I created something my reality. I know it's possible. I know it's I know what it's close, and it comes and now it goes. I know it comes to me, oh so easily, for I know I am abundant, I am prosperity, now I create, make it my reality. I know it's the certainty. I was there. Making my reality. I it's just
The reading and homily this morning will be presented by Renee Rank from our sister church in ISD Oneonta, who is online virtual, so we can see her on the screen. And we want to thank Renee for joining us in our home here in Madison, New Jersey. It's a great honor to have you here, and welcome.
Well, it's my pleasure. I think you might want to stop sharing the audio. That might have been part of our problem earlier too, Barb.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I really don't know. Well, we'll give it a shot. Good morning. It's my honor to be here. I'm so happy. Can you guys all hear me okay? Please just stop me if at any point you can't.
Yes, we're going to turn the volume up. Tom, can you turn the volume up, please? Okay. You can talk now, Renee.
You sure?
Nope.
Can everybody hear me? Yes?
It's a little loud now.
Now it's loud.
Loud?
We're good?
Yeah, well,
Okay. So today's reading is one that I came across on Facebook a couple of years ago. No author associated to it. It's called Two Babies in the Womb. In a mother's womb were two babies. The first baby asked the other, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" The second baby replied, "Why, of course. There has to be something after delivery. Maybe we are here to prepare ourselves for what will be later." "Nonsense," said the first. "There is no life after delivery. What would that life be?" "I don't know, but there will be more light than here. Maybe we will walk with our legs and eat from our mouths." The doubting baby laughed. "This is absurd. Walking is impossible, and to eat with our mouths, ridiculous. The umbilical cord supplies nutrition. Life after delivery is to be excluded. The umbilical cord is too short." The second baby held her ground. "I think there is something, and maybe it's different than it is here." The first baby replied, "No one has ever come back from there. Delivery is the end of life, and in the after delivery it is nothing but darkness and anxiety, and it takes us nowhere." "I don't know," said his twin, "but certainly we will see Mother, and she will take care of us." "Mother?" the first baby guffawed. "You believe in Mother? Where is she now?" The second baby calmly and patiently tried to explain. "She is all around us. It is in her that we live. Without her, there would not be this world." "Ha! I don't see her, so it's only logical that she doesn't exist." To which the other replied, "Sometimes, when you're in silence, you can hear her. You can perceive her." I believe there is a reality after delivery, and we are here to prepare ourselves for that reality when it comes. Good morning again. I had saved this story for quite a while looking for the correct homily to share it. But you're going to have to bear with me for a little bit because I'm not going to go exactly in the direction that you would think. And I did some research on this story looking for an author. It seems that it was shared by Wayne Dyer in his book, Your Sacred Self. And he attributed it to a story told by Henry J.W. Nouwen. But I also found where it was attributed to Pablo Molinero, and his work seems to have been released more than 10 years before Nouwen's. So out of curiosity, I looked up the other versions. Pablo Molinero's version, The Boy and the Girl, is longer, it's darker, and more detailed. Boy argues against the existence of mother. Girl is convinced she just can't seem to get her point across without him cutting her down and making fun of her. It was really quite a good story until I got to the end. At the birth, which wasn't a pleasant process, girl is born first and ended up in mother's arms. She forgot all the trauma of the birth. Boy, on the other hand, was so afraid, believing that there was nothing afterwards, that he struggled and he struggled. He struggled so much that the umbilical cord ended up wrapping around his neck and he was stillborn. I was slightly traumatized by the end of this story, and so I certainly wasn't going to use it in my homily. But then I started thinking about it. If we consider Molinero's darker ending, then this story really becomes something different. One about faith and belief, yes, but also one about creating our own reality. It tells us that if we let ourselves give in to darkness and fears, that's what we end up manifesting in our lives. So maybe we need to look at this parable about ourselves, or as a parable about ourselves. Maybe those two babies represent two sides of us. Boy being our physical side that reacts to the world instead of interacting, believing only in what he can see, giving no credence to what anyone else believes. And girl being the spiritual side of us, a side that feels, that views the world more ethereally, understanding that some things can't quite be touched or quantified. One of the things that happens as we awaken, as we become enlightened, as we begin to recognize and step into our spiritual selves, or one of those things that should happen anyway, is that we learn to open ourselves up to the possibility that our own spiritual beliefs are not the only ones out there. We begin to understand that there are many schools of thought, and hopefully we learn to expand our own ideas about spiritual truth as we listen and feel out what other people believe, as we experience what other faith traditions and practices have to offer. But sometimes it seems almost as if we separate ourselves, much like the two babies in our story. Girl understands that there are many beliefs when it comes to religion or spirituality. We allow ourselves to be accepting and even welcoming of other religions, other belief systems, other people who follow them. But somehow we become more like boy when it comes to things in our physical world, political beliefs, societal norms and expectations, vaccinations, non-vaccinations. Those may be an entirely different thing. Seems like ever since our election, I continue to regularly see posts on social media where people are belittling or tearing apart someone else's opinion related to things happening in our physical world. Sharing memes that poke fun at the other side, those people who believe differently than they or their friends do. Where someone is saying, if you don't believe as I do, or if you support this, then unfriend me. Really? Is that how little we think of these friendships? Maybe it's just because they're Facebook friendships. We can just casually say, I don't like you and I don't want to know you anymore over a difference in opinion. Last year, after COVID hit and when the racial tension had reached an apex here, I came across a video on social media. The video was posted by a woman of color. She was voicing her opinion on what was happening and explaining why she stood where she did, which apparently is not where one would have expected a woman of color to stand, I guess. So as I was watching the video, I was scrolling through some of the comments, and I was shocked to see a comment posted by someone that I knew, a Facebook friend. But this person had played an especially important role in helping me to find my bearings during the initial stages of my awakening journey before I found my ISD family. And it's someone that I admired. And the comment on the video was just one word, calling the woman a name. But to see the hatred and the mean-spiritedness in that one word from someone that I had always viewed as enlightened, it was eye-opening to me. Now, I've always known that my friend had strong emotions related to the subject. But to see the willingness to publicly cut someone else down for voicing their opinion, that just truly astounded me. The truth that the woman expressed didn't match my friend's truth. But the thing about truth is that it's relative to our perspective, isn't it? What I write as a 9, you may see as a 6 if you're standing in front of me. So why are so many people open like girl when it comes to allowing people to express their spirituality as they see fit? But when it comes to things in our physical world, many people become boy and see a difference in opinion as something to be torn down and trampled on. You can be my friend if you're Catholic, Christian, Jewish, Islamic, Hindu, Wiccan, even atheist. But if you're Republican or unvaccinated, heck no, you better unfriend me now. Thing is, we don't know why people believe the way they do. We can't understand where everyone is coming from. And you know what? That's okay. Whether it's faith, politics, vaccinations, or the way someone makes their bed. Oh, wait, I have an even better one. How do you hang your toilet paper? Just for the record, I'm in the minority and I like mine with the paper rolling from underneath. But don't tell anyone, because I don't want to lose any Facebook friends. Seriously, though, everyone's take is theirs. It doesn't have to be ours. So you can hang your toilet paper any way you want. That's what makes this journey so interesting, isn't it? Well, not particularly how you hang your toilet paper, but having differing beliefs and opinions. If everyone felt and believed and saw things exactly the same way, what fun would that be? And why should things in the physical world be different than things that we view as spiritual? Lately, when I ask for guidance on just about anything, how to approach an issue related to my job, how to best deal with a financial issue, how to understand something that I've been struggling with spiritually, the answer that I continue to receive is be spirit. Spirit's way of telling me to approach things from the perspective of a divine spiritual being. Many people I know have been receiving similar messages. In one of our development circles, someone mentioned that they had received a message that said that everyone, no matter how negative or polarizing we may see them as, everyone has a mother, whether they are here with us or in spirit. Everyone is someone's son or daughter, someone's sister or brother, someone's husband or wife. And do you know what it feels like to know that your loved one has negative thoughts and opinions thrown at them? When I was young, I remember my parents took me and my younger brother to a playground. I couldn't have been more than like 10 or 11. My parents were playing with my brother, and I had walked away from them and towards these two older boys. They hadn't really noticed me yet. I was standing there kind of smiling at them, deciding whether I should strike up a conversation, when I heard one say to the other, "Look at that fat guy over there trying to swing." And they started laughing. I turned in the direction they were looking, and the smile froze on my face. I saw my dad sitting on a swing in the distance and realized that they were talking about him. I remember that feeling so well, although I really had no idea at the time how to express it. Even now, I'm not quite sure. I remember that it wasn't anger. I think it was more like dread and sorrow. These boys were making fun of someone that I loved and adored. I stood there reeling at the expanse of that wave of pain that hit me. Just a minute before that, I'd been happy and joyful, and out of nowhere, my joy had just been crushed. The boys had walked away from me. They continued playing. I don't think they even realized I'd been standing there. I knew I couldn't repeat that story to either of my parents. I didn't want them to feel the pain that I did. So I held it. And I held it for the rest of my life. I don't know those boys, and I wouldn't know them again if I saw them. Obviously, it was over 40 years ago. And I'm sure that they would have no memory of that day, as it was something just matter of fact said for entertainment. And yet those two children, by expressing something negative, managed to attach something to me that stayed with me for 40 years and became part of who I am. That, my friends, is the power that we all have. The power that negativity can have, even when we don't necessarily intend it to do harm. Things seem to have just gone crazy around us, haven't they? Global pandemic, natural disasters, racial tensions, political divisiveness, conspiracy theories, earthquakes, fires, wars. Is it possible that we, as a global family, are somehow contributing to this craziness when we express ourselves negatively? If two strangers could impact me so extensively by uttering something negative when they didn't even know they were being overheard, then what is the impact when we're putting out negativity where everyone can see it and actually hoping that they will? As metaphysicians, we understand the power of energy and the power of intention. But do we understand that this power extends to all aspects of our lives? Now, right now, is the time for us to realize how powerful we all are. As individuals and as a collective, we have the ability to throw darkness or to throw light. Now, we all know that there are people out there that we just can't stomach, and there are things happening or being exposed that are just immoral. It seems to me almost as if part of the period that we're in is about infections within society's underbelly, and they're being brought to a head like a cyst, waiting to be lanced, drained, and healed. And we're certainly not saying that anyone should stand by and let bad things happen without speaking up. Around the same time as I noticed the comment my friend made on that video, I also saw a comment that someone else made about history proving that no significant change has ever happened without violence and bloodshed. And I had to stop and think about that one. The Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World Wars, violence for a purpose. But the bloodshed, the trauma of those events, they stuck with us. They stayed in our collective consciousness. Is that what's needed for positive change? So I did some research. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her bus seat to a white person. On December 5th of that same year, the Montgomery bus boycott began. It was a civil rights protest during which African Americans refused to ride the city buses in Montgomery, Alabama, to protest segregated seating. And it lasted over a year until December 20th, 1956. The U.S. Supreme Court ultimately ordered Montgomery to integrate its bus system, and one of the leaders of the boycott, a young pastor named Martin Luther King Jr., emerged as a prominent leader of the American civil rights movement. It was a bus boycott. And there are many other examples of peaceful protests that led to important changes. Suffrage parade in 1913, pivotal to the passing of the 19th Amendment 7 years later, granting American women the right to vote. A peaceful parade down Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. Here's one of my favorites. Tree sitters of Puroa, New Zealand, built and lived in tree houses in the Puroa forest to stop its deforestation. And it resulted in the government permanently stopping logging operations and making the forest a national park. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert on these things, so I couldn't tell you if peaceful protests are always the most efficient way to inspire needed change. But here is what I can tell you. More hate does not cure hate. More anger does not cure anger. More fear doesn't cure fear. We can't end something that we see as wrong by throwing more of the same at it. It's just not how it works. By throwing more hate at hatred, we're feeding it, giving it more power. Throwing more anger at anger only accentuates it, lets it blossom. Our political leaders, our religious leaders, the leaders of big business, they're all human beings just like you and I. And if we throw negativity and darkness at them, what do we think is going to happen? They're suddenly going to become beacons of light, change their way of thinking, suddenly see the error of their ways? Nah, that's not the way natural law works. So here's what I'm asking. Let's look for a way to bring our two sides together. Rather than acting as if the spiritual world and the physical world are two different places and holding two different versions of us, let's try to bring those two babies together. Make boy and girl one. Instead of contributing to negative energy, that energy that seems to be surrounding us all the time these days, let's hold the light and the space for positive energy to bloom. Edgar Cayce said in one of his readings, "The sowing of the seed of spirit bringeth peace. The sowing of the seed of strife bringeth contention." So let's be spirit. Let's sow the seed of spirit regardless of what aspect of our lives we're in. When you see or hear or read something that upsets you and you want to reply, you want to scream your views to the world, take a minute. Heck, take 30 seconds. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Remember that that other person, the one whose viewpoint upset you or got you angry, they're just human too. They have loved ones just like you and I. In the case of my friend in the comment on that video, if just a moment had been taken to understand how difficult that video must have been for that woman to make, how scary putting yourself out there with an opinion that differs from what you know people expect. Maybe then, if that moment had been taken, at least one less nasty comment would have been posted. And who knows what far-reaching implications one less negative comment might have. Maybe that woman has a daughter who, like the young me, was greatly impacted by that one thoughtless, nasty word. Instead of feeding the negative energy, instead of passing around ridiculing memes or nasty comments, let's try to use prayer to hold the light. Let us pray that we all find our way to love. Let us pray that the leaders and those in charge in this world find the strength to do what needs to be done for the good of all and not just for the good of the few. Let us surround everyone, regardless of who they are and regardless of how we view them, with the light of our collective love instead of the darkness of our anger, fear, disappointment. And maybe if one by one we can all find a way to hold the light within our own universes, more and more people out there will follow suit. And that future that we manifest, it will result in one happy, healthy soul being born into this new world, bringing the best of both boy and girl into one. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. That was wonderful. We now come to the gratitude portion of our service. So let's take a moment to feel the gratitude within for our church and sacred space and for all our own blessings. Please prepare your love offering. And take your offering and put it in your right hand and cover it with your left. Excuse me, your left hand and cover it with your right. We are going to charge it with gratitude and intentions. We give our heartfelt gratitude for the gifts and blessings we have been given, as well as those we have yet to receive. By charging our gifts with our loving vibrations and intentions, we release into the universe our petition to increase abundance, both for the church's benefit as well as our own. As we give, so we shall receive. And anyone interested in making a contribution online, Renee will put into the chat our link. Would the usher now please come forward to collect the offerings? Bless these generous offerings given so lovingly to our sacred, benevolent, majestic home. And to the contributors, we grant our unconditional love and gratitude for their kindness and charity and continued support of our loving and sacred space. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now it's time for announcements. So welcome everyone here today. I apologize for the parking lot confusion. Thank God Tom drove by and sent me a text and said there's cones in front of the driveway. I texted the Masons and they said we could park in the school next door. So very sorry for any inconvenience. So our Tuesday night classes continue online only, a meditation at 7 o'clock. So if you're interested, you can see we publish our meditations on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to see what they're about, we have different theme every week to see what resonates with you. We also, Tom and I, continue to work on our website. So it's a work in progress. We want to be able to, in the future, have classes listed that we could teach and see how many people sign up before we get a facilitator. But the technology, we're still trying to figure it out. So, but we've learned a lot since COVID, so we're getting there. We do have a donation button on our website for your convenience. It's called the Love Donation button. And Renee put in the link in the chat, the link for that love donation to make it easier. And our next service will be held on Sunday, September 5th, with our special guest homilist, Reverend Melinda Witter. And Melinda runs our church in Treasure Coast in Florida. And we're going to have a special service because we're combining both churches' services together. So now that Tom and I figured out the technology to have one person physical and one person virtual, should go nice and smooth. So it'd be nice to get involved with the other ISDs as we've done for our Christmas and our Easter services, which have turned out wonderful. Again, thanks to Renee for all her help with technology to figure out our services for all the churches together that we did. And thank you, Renee, for joining us today. It's a great honor and pleasure to have you here. And we look forward to having you again in the future. And thank you, Tom, for ushering. And thank you for everyone who's brought hospitality, which we will enjoy physically after service, brownies and deviled eggs that Ingrid always likes to make, and virtually can join in too. Are there any other announcements? Okay, in preparation for messages, we're going to rise and sing hymn number 3, All Things Bright and Beautiful.
Bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the one God made them all. Each little flower that opened, each little bird that sings. God made their glowing colors and every time he brings. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the one God made them all. The purple-headed mountain, the river running up, the sunset and the morning that brightens up the sky. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the one made them all. The cold wind in the winter, the pleasant summer song, the bright fruit in the garden, God made everyone. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the one God made them all. God gave us eyes to see them, and lips that we might tell. How great is God Almighty, who has made all things well. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful.
Please be seated. Okay, our first message bearer today will be Renee.
Oh, hang on. There you go.
We will now have a meditation that will be led by our guest homilist, Renee Rink.
Oh, well, it's back to me now, huh? Hang on. All right, I'm going to lead you in another healing meditation. I know that that is what Barb took us on during the healing portion of the service, but we're going to take it just a little bit deeper now. Can everyone still hear me all right? Are we going to be okay with this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so this time it's all about you. It's your time to connect with yourself, let go of the cares and concerns of the outside world. I want you to find yourself a comfortable position in your seat. Close your eyes if it feels right, or leave them open if you prefer. And let's take a little journey inside. Just allow the experience to unfold in whatever way that it does for you. Don't try to force yourself to see or experience anything in particular. Just follow the sound of my voice and allow your own higher self to lead you where you need to go. Now let's start out by paying attention to your breathing. And as you inhale, feel the air entering through your nose or your mouth and filling your lungs completely. And when you exhale, feel any worries, any cares or concerns leaving your body and being whisked away. Let's just take a few slow, deep breaths that way. Feeling the air entering on the inhale and cares and concerns exiting on the exhale. Good. Now I want you to see or sense a bright light about an inch or so above your head. This is source energy, and I want you to let your sense of it unfold however it does for you. Maybe you see it as a large, bright yellow or orange light, almost like your own personal sun. Or maybe you see it as a large white or clear light, like a beautiful bright star. Or maybe you can't see it at all. You just sense and feel the warmth and the love that's generating from it. Now, as you continue to inhale at your own pace, I want you to feel this light entering and filling each section of your body. And when you exhale, any pain, any discomfort, any tightness, any darkness being expelled. So let's start by moving our consciousness to the head. As you inhale, I want you to feel the light entering through your crown chakra. Feel it filling your head with warm, healing light. Sense anywhere within your head that's tight, achy. And as you inhale, I want you to feel the light concentrating on those spots, filling them, loosening them, relaxing them. On the exhale, feel the pain or the tightness being moved out. Maybe your jaw is clenched. Allow the light to concentrate there, relaxing, massaging. Maybe your eyes feel tired and puffy. Allow that light to caress them, relax them. Maybe it's your forehead or the sides or the back of your head that's sore or tight. Feel the light loosening the muscles, releasing any tension. And your head, it's now filled with this healing light. And let's move your consciousness to your throat and your neck. And as you inhale, feel the light moving into this area. Feel it releasing any tension, any tightness. Inhale and feel the light moving to any problem areas. And exhale, feel that stress and tension leaving. Now let's move our awareness down. That beautiful light is moving into your shoulders, caressing, massaging, loosening, lighting up every muscle. As you inhale, the light is moving down your arms, into your hands and your fingers. Feel that light radiating down your back into your shoulder blades. Feel it entering your chest. Feel your lungs filling with it. Your rib cage expanding. Now your awareness moves to your heart. I want you to feel the light moving into your heart. And we're going to stay here for just a moment. On each inhale, feel that light filling your heart. And on each exhale, feel that light being pumped through that wonderful heart to everywhere else in your body. On the inhale, feel the light entering your heart, healing any pain, any past trauma. Feel the light being pumped through your veins and arteries. Feel the light filling your heart completely. Feel any grief, any heartbreak, any sadness being loosened and lifted. And on the exhale, feel darkness leaving and the light being pumped into your abdomen, down your spine, sent from that heart into your lower back. Inhale and feel the light filling that heart. And your heart is so filled with light now that it also resembles a sun or a star, just like the one above your head. And on the inhale, feel your heart pumping that light into your hips, loosening and relaxing them. Now into your legs, and feel the light moving down your thighs. Feel your heart pumping the light into your knees, down into your calves. Feel that beautiful light-filled heart pumping light into your ankles, into your feet, into your toes. And just take a moment to just feel how filled with light your body is now. Every part of you feels light and relaxed. Now you find yourself sitting on a bench in front of a beautiful little stream. It's just a beautiful day. The sun is shining. You can feel it warming you. You look around from your bench. There are several trees nearby, and you admire their leaves. There's a light breeze blowing across your skin, and you hear the water gurgling in the stream as it rushes along. You watch the water. It's happily flowing. And as you're watching, you see a leaf drop from a nearby tree, and slowly it blows and it floats and it turns and it ends up landing in the stream. You watch it being swept along in the water, not fighting the stream, but being pulled along freely. You watch, and as you watch, you become the leaf. Feel yourself floating along the stream, floating and relaxing. The leaf doesn't fight the water, it relaxes and allows itself to flow with it, becoming one with the water. Feel the stream caressing you, holding you lovingly and securely as you move along with it. You are the leaf. You are one with the water. Feel the movement, the strength of the water supporting you. Allow yourself to float with it, lightly, across stones, among waves. The current carries you and it holds you. Don't try and control where you're going. Just relax and allow, floating and relaxing, floating and relaxing. The leaf has now been carried down the stream and to the shore, and as it lands, you feel yourself once again sitting on that bench in front of the stream. It's almost time for us to leave this place and return to the here and now. But before we do, I want you to take just a little more time to check in with yourself. Let's do a final scan from head to toe. No judgment, no concern, just an impartial witness to what's going on within you right now. So take a big full inhale and exhale fully and completely. Move your consciousness back to your head. What do you sense? What do you feel? Are there places that feel lighter or heavier? Move your consciousness into your neck, your shoulders, down your arms into your hands, your fingers. Are your hands tingling? Does the right feel different than the left? Continue working your way through your body for just a moment. Where does it feel like the energy may be more concentrated, not moving as freely? Move all the way into your toes. Does your big toe feel different than your little toe? Now let's just take a moment to express some gratitude to this body, this vehicle that carries you through the journey of a lifetime. It's your steed, your inn, the place your soul experiences the physical world. Thank it for all that it does for you. And now it's time to return to the here and now. Once again, another deep breath. Exhale. Begin to feel the seat beneath you. Feel yourself returning. One more inhale. Exhale. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And return to the here and now.
Thank you, Renee. Everyone back? Okay, we're going to read now Congressional Prayer number C30 on page 269. That's all right, Teresa. Don't worry about it. Please turn to page 269 of your songbooks. in the spheres of light. Now let's read together. In the spheres of light, all humanity is united in tranquility, and every word is executed from my inner self, and in quiet, I can raise myself to the light perfect. So as I endeavor to raise the Christ consciousness within me, I will raise all humankind. I cannot make one effort toward heaven without the whole of the world, even the very earth itself being the better for it. Of opportunity. I shall not allow the darkness of the earth to deny me my birthright for freedom, happiness, and service, peace, and great joy. Our Mother, Father, God, we thank you again for this loving and sacred space and for the opportunity to serve and speak of your greatness, your infinite love, your infinite kindness, your infinite generosity, your infinite knowledge, and your infinite abundance. Please stand for the benediction, remain standing for the closing hymn. Let your bright light shine and bless every being that you come in contact with in your life. And now that our worship has ended, let our service begin. Amen. We're going to stand in a circle and sing together number 86, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God, our Father, who we all are. Let's walk with each other in perfect harmony. Speak it with me. Let this be a moment that every step I take. Let this be my song back. Take each moment and live each moment for peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. How nice.